Hey, how's it going, everyone? It's Dax here. I thought I'd make a video because I am continually getting a similar response every time I make this comment. And the comment is about how um, we have documented evidence that what we are doing in the Filipino martial arts, mostly, okay, not saying all of it, most of it comes from Spanish fencing, okay? There's books going back 100 plus years, okay? Um, so some of them several hundred years. And it's pretty clear that majority of the techniques that we are using in Filipino martial arts come from Spanish fencing, and that the Filipinos took that art and expanded upon it. They added their own flavor to it. They added their boxing. They added their wrestling, their dumog. They, I think they made Spanish fencing actually better. Okay. Um, and there is certain things that they did change. For example, your footwork is more square. Your hands, your weapon hand tends to be more retracted, right? It's not out in front like in Spanish saber. This largely has to do with the hand protection or lack thereof on most Filipino bolos and sticks. But even then, you see the Spanish swords, the later Spanish swords, begin to come with saber hilts. We know that the Filipinos mostly used shield and spear. Even from the historical accounts of Magellan, it doesn't describe guys using Filipino eskrima. What it's describing is people throwing spears, okay, and when they get up close, someone takes out a sword, and it's described as a giant scimitar. So most likely, it's a Campilan sword, or it could be another sword called the Panabas, I believe it's called, which are two-handed swords, and did the coup de grace on Magellan. There's nothing wrong with saying this, all right? The majority of the world used shields and spears, all right? People are acting like when I'm saying this, I'm disrespecting the Filipinos, or like if it's somehow having a shield and spear is less than what we do nowadays. Okay, nobody trips out when the Spartans are depicted with spear and shield. Everyone's like, "Oh man, they're so cool." The second that you say, "Oh well, the Filipinos were mostly using spears and shields," people freak the fuck out. Okay, majority of people, swords were backup weapons. All right, and the two-handed swords, whether that be the katana, the kampilan, the long sword, right, were mostly used historically from the top soldiers. Okay, the regular soldiers would engage with a shield and a spear, and the two-handed swords generally were for, let's say, the knights. The knights used the long sword, for example. The samurai used the katana and the naginata and the tachi, these other two-handed swords. But even then, their main weapons were spears. All right, the main weapon of the samurai was the yari, was not the katana, okay, or any other type of sword. All right, everyone. Just thought I'd make this quick video right? There's nothing wrong with Spanish fencing, okay? Being the source for Filipino Eskrima. We know that now that most of the techniques in BJJ are from Japan. The Brazilians really didn't really invent anything. They probably reinvented, or they saw most of these techniques coming from jiu-jitsu books. You can look up the Game of Jiu-Jitsu from 1906, okay? And you could see that the Brazilians didn't really invent anything. They were really far behind what the Japanese were doing if you watch the Kosen Judo videos. The Filipinos, on the other hand, did add their own flavor and their own techniques into their style fencing, but still the vast majority of it can be found in old Spanish fencing manuals. All right, everybody. Once again, if you're watching me on YouTube, you could add me on Instagram. I have tons of photos of the native Filipinos and paintings from back in the day. And I also post content from these Spanish manuals. You can see photos, you can see the books for themselves, the techniques for themselves. And if you're following me on Instagram, my YouTube page is GFP Gym, Grappling, Fencing, and Pugilism. Go ahead, give me a like and a subscribe. I'll see you next time.